tomorrow. 590 nonprofits, amazing stories, and we've got another great one for you right now. So for 28 years, Seacoast Outright has been one of the only resources available to the LGBTQ+ youth in the Seacoast area. Through educational programs, annual Pride celebrations, and youth support groups, the mission has always been to create a safe space for youth to explore topics of gender and sexuality in a welcoming and understanding environment. And we are honored and pleased to have Hershey Hirschkop, the Executive Director of the Seacoast Outright in Portsmouth. Hershey, welcome, and thank you for joining us.
Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. Did you get that right off our website?
I think so.
That sounded really good.
Did it? How'd I do?
I wrote it.
Really?
I wrote it myself.
I didn't know. I have to. That's better than I could have done. So
I wrote it, and I wrote that as all my own words.
Nicely done.
Thank you very much.
For me.
That's it. So Hershey, tell us a little bit more about what you do and how all of this program got started.
Actually, it got started in 1993 right down the street at UNH.
No kidding.
There's an organization called PFLAG, Parents, Friends of Lesbians and Gays. It started, I think, in the late 70s. They've been around for a very long time.
Okay.
One of the first real sort of LGBTQ groups around.
Right.
And it was really a support group, right? Parents and Friends of. And they really saw this deep need, and they put together a conference at UNH. It included not just educators, but ministers and parents and concerned citizens, and out of that came us. So they decided that really there was this deep unmet need for LGBTQ kids in this area, and that they were going to provide it. And we've been doing that ever since. We serve, support, and advocate for LGBTQ youth in actually not only the Seacoast area, but all over New Hampshire at this point, and York County, Maine, and northeastern Massachusetts as well.
I know that there are still there's still a ways to go, right? I know there's still a ways to go, but we are moving in the right direction, right? I mean, are we?
Yes.
We are.
Well, you know, if you'd asked me a few years ago, it would have been probably better.
Right.
But you know, 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, maybe at this very moment. So there's been some disappointing setbacks, obviously, politically. But you know, in some ways, New Hampshire has been really great.
Right.
Governor Sununu signed into law anti-discrimination laws a few years ago. It's easy to get, you know, your name changed if you're transgender. Things like that are very good. But you know, if we want to get deep into what's going on, into politically what's going on, then I would say, you know, there's we just had a great victory against a bill called HB 1431. It's a parents' rights bill, but really what it would have done is out kids to their parents without their consent. So it's sort of this backdoor to basically giving, you know, homophobia free rein in schools, where a guidance counselor, a teacher, a coach, if a student had come out to them and had confided, and maybe this was the only adult they trusted, that adult would have to turn around and call the parents and tell them. And that is so forbidden in our community. Our community is very strict around when you come out, who you come out to. That is your decision and your decision only. And it would have been incredibly harmful to our kids.
Right.
So it was defeated in the House of Representatives, thank goodness, by about 5 votes. And Governor Sununu was willing to veto it. He'd come out against it. But you know, I'm sure we're going to see it next year.
Yeah.
So, and you know, the message that gives our kids is really disheartening, right? In that, you know, the Seacoast is a very liberal area. It's very caring in a lot of ways, right? There's a lot of great stuff that goes on. But then stuff like this happens.
Right.
You know, and the message to our kids is, you know, we don't care about you, you don't count. And, you know, many of our kids already have higher rates of anxiety, depression, and trigger warning here, suicidality. And this kind of bill would just drive those numbers right up, I'm sure.
This process, this coming out, I think about it as no matter where you are in the age spectrum, to do something like that, it is such an important moment in one's life. It is got to be terrifying, a bold moment, because ultimately you're making this statement about who you are and hoping, if not praying, if not expecting, to just be supported. How are we doing as a community in New Hampshire with supporting our friends?
Well, you know, I don't have stats, but anecdotally I'd say, you know, a lot of the kids we see are brought there by parents. They're very supportive parents. We have a parent support group in addition to the 2 youth groups we run each week. On the other hand, you know, I get calls all the time from kids who are looking for support and help, and they don't live in very nice homes. They don't live in homes where they're supported at all. In fact, they're fairly hostile homes.
Okay.
We have a kid in a shelter right now in Portland who, 16 years old, not a street kid, not a kid who's really going to be able to survive out there, but walked away because his home was so awful.
Right.
And he couldn't be himself. And he was told he was going to hell. He was told that the whole family was going to hell because of him. They refused to use pronouns. Oh, and I'm sorry. I did that thing where I didn't introduce my pronouns. I'm she, her,
Right.
hers. I'm sorry. Yeah, I always forget. Model good behavior.
That's all right. You got it. You nailed it.
So, and, this kid is, just trying to take care of themselves and be who they are.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what is so disheartening, right? Is that it's not a lifestyle choice. This is just so deeply ingrained in who they feel they are. And, it's not for any of us to tell them. And, maybe it changes, maybe it doesn't. Chances are it doesn't. And they're trying to figure this out. And then the people who should be there loving them, supporting them, and getting through this difficult time is just not there.
What's your message to people when they come through the door?
You be you. That's our tagline.
You be you.
You be you.
So when somebody comes to you in that situation, right? Because I think for reasonable people, it's unfathomable to do anything other than love them. And I love you, whatever. Be you. You be you.
I hope you have kids and they come out.
He does.
No,
He's got awesome kids.
No, I want to know what it's like for you when you help somebody navigate those waters, and they come in, and those are rough waters that they're in, and you help them find their way to smoother waters. What's that like?
Well, that's a win, of course.
Right.
And I've been at my job, I think this is my 4th year now. So I've managed to see some kids through, some rough teenage years
Sure.
and see them go off to college, for example, or get a job or really thrive.
Right.
And, I think, we all talk about the turmoil of teenage years, and sometimes it's true, sometimes it's not.
Mm-hmm.
But for our kids, there's this added stressor, right? That, they all get bullied in school and, they need a lot of support. And maybe during COVID, they haven't had their peer community to help them. And maybe their parents are supportive or not. But, getting them through teenage years, to me, is like our major goal. Mm-hmm. And then I think, after that, they do much better, right? That a lot of stuff evens out.
So you primarily focus on youth.
Yeah, we, generally speaking, our age range is middle school, high school.
Mm-hmm.
There's clamoring by our parents group to add an elementary school age group, which I think we're going to do because there are a lot of kids who are transgendered who are really starting to figure it out very early. And they really need a group. They need to talk among themselves and have support and people going through what they're going through. So.
Right.
It's important to note that June is Pride Month, and you're hosting a number of events, including something on June 25th. Can you tell us about it?
Yeah, June 25th is Pride. That is our big Pride Day. It's our sort of national holiday that we have once a year. It's very celebratory, but also it is still, for me at least, personally, a protest march. Our kids love it. It's their big day of the year. They can really get out there, wear what they want, be who they are,
Right.
really, let it fly. And we've been doing it for 8 years. This will be our 8th year, and we've really stepped it up. I'll give you a little preview. So we gather in Market Square at noon.
Okay.
We step off at 12:30, and this year we get to march down State Street. The city of Portsmouth has been incredibly good to us, and we're going to go right down State Street. So, visibility is really important, right? This is a statement. So we're going to head that way. We got the leftist marching band to lead us off. We've got a little percussion group from Portsmouth High School who shows up. And then we head down to the field at Strawberry Bank Museum. They host us every year. This year we're having a beer tent. I'm very excited about that.
Awesome.
Throwback Brewery will be there with their beer. And we've really beefed up our main stage. We really wanted to go a little more, we're a little grassrootsy, right? I like to say we're a tiny organization with a mighty mission.
Right.
But, on the other hand, we could do better. So we threw some money at it, and we have a great headliner. Mary Lambert will be there.
Great.
I'm 63, so I can't say, I have listened to her now. Now I know who she is, and I'm really excited about it. Many people under 30 are really, really excited about it.
You're always learning.
Somebody in a meeting today said, is it the Mary Lambert? And I said, yes, we have the Mary Lambert coming. So I'm like, yes.
Right.
So, and we have a few other great acts, and also the mayor's going to open the event for us on the main stage, and we have Congressman Chris Pappas always speaks for us. We'll have an update on what's going on politically in New Hampshire, and each year we pick a community partner. In October, when we had a sort of our little abbreviated Pride event, Black Lives Matter. Seacoast was our partner. This time we're having Big Brothers Big Sisters New Hampshire. We have a partner program with them called PRISM, where for kids in rural New Hampshire who really need more support and can't get it and can't get to a meeting and can't find anything online and maybe are really in the closet, can get a big.
Right.
And so we refer them to Big Brothers Big Sisters, and we also help recruit the bigs to be a sympathetic or empathetic mentor for them.
It's great.
Right.
It's great what you're doing.
And that's, I mean, empathy
Right.
is the key to it all.
Empathy,
right? Is the
right.
key to it all. And I hope, it's always been my hope, that we continue to move. I mean, I know there's going to be setbacks, but I hope we continue to move in a positive direction where we can accept everybody as they are.
Amen.
You
Thank
know?
you.
Absolutely.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah,
Thank you
Hershey
for saying
Hirschkop,
that.
thank you so much for what you're doing with Seacoast Outright.
Nice to
My
meet you.
It's
pleasure.
great. And
Thank
best
you
of luck on the
for-
25th. Sounds like
Thank
a great
you.
day.
I
You got
appreciate
it.
that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's great to see you. Yep, you were clear. She's clear. we don't have a lot of formal and aggressive stage
Yeah, no,
direction
no,
around
no,
here.
no.
We just do what we do.
We're winging
So,
it, is
yeah,
what he's saying, for the most part. It's okay. It's all right. It's almost 9 o'clock. We're winging it.
That's it. We are.